remember reading that you were inspired by, was it a photo? It must have been a photo of the DeValo brothers from 110 years ago doing an open loop. Some guy in a tuxedo, about 12 feet off the ground, doing an open loop jump with no helmet. And you were like, is this real? And you did your research and it was real. And you're like, I like that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that discovery of the DeValo brothers 110 years ago.
This is cool because there's nothing I'd probably rather talk about at 11:30 at night. This is pretty awesome. So I apprenticed in horology. So I had a really big fascination with history. I really am still fascinated with the early 1900s. There's just a lot of stuff that was coming into the picture. People were learning to fly. Motorcycles were invented. Bicycles were already popping up, but they were getting more dialed. Electricity. It was just this crazy time. And clocks also, there was a lot of innovations in keeping time around that time. And so it was it was just a period that's of time that I was just like focused on. And then all of a sudden I came across this picture, and I can't remember where I came across the picture. I think it was like, I don't know. It must have been on the internet. I don't think it was Instagram because it might have been before Instagram. But I came across this picture and I was just like, wait a minute. Like, this can't be real. This can't be real. Like, look at this guy. And if you see the photo, the takeoff's probably only 4 feet wide. The landing's 8 feet wide. And he's in a full tuxedo riding a bike, from the early 1900s. Now, these bikes were...
Looking dapper.
Yeah, these bikes, he was in a full suit. These bikes weighed about 65 pounds, and it was before the cassette was invented. So they used to remove their cranks and weld rods straight through so they could just stand on the rods, or else it'd be like a fixie, right? Yep. So they couldn't do stunts. And it just turned out that these guys were just the most badass dudes on the planet. They were like the first action sport athletes. They were the first cyclists making money doing stunts.
These two Italian brothers.
Well, no, there was the two Italian brothers. That was an act that only lasted about 8 months. And they were competing with a North American act and a guy from France who were doing the loop-de-loops.
Yeah. Which
became like a world renowned, just like sought after act. It was like the act. Like it was like
for
a
Barnum
blockbuster.
and Bailey circuses and stuff like that.
It was like a blockbuster movie going to see these guys. Yeah. And they were badass. They dressed in devil suits. They got paid lots of money. A lot of them fucked with prostitutes, and they were real mean partiers.
Yeah.
And the party guys always ended up dying. And then there was one guy who did the whole 10 years named CJ Carter, and he was an artist, and he painted and drank tea at his estate and saved all his money and lived long in retirement. And all the other guys got fucked up, spent it all, and died, which is crazy because it's just like this. So funny because these same things play out in action sports today, like just over and over again. So it's the same type of person, right? So I just got like completely fascinated, started reading up, and there's just all these newspaper articles about these loopers just causing havoc in the town, like sleeping with local women, and like it was insane. And I'm just like loving this. And to go back to the brothers, it's actually a pretty sad story because there was two brothers. One of them would jump the open loop. The other one would jump in the open loop. And they did the act for about 4 months. And I believe the one brother missed the ramp and broke his leg and bled out and died.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Right in front of his brother.
Well, I think he died a couple days later.
Yeah.
In the hospital. But yeah, he basically missed the ramp, and I'm like, dude, it's 8 feet wide. Like, of course you're gonna miss the ramp. It's 8 feet wide, man, and your bike's 65 pounds. But like, when you're innovating and you're doing things that no one's ever done before,
you're jumping into black holes.
You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've definitely done some stupid things innovating, so I can definitely appreciate what those guys were doing for our sport, over
110 years ago, 120 years ago.
Yeah, 120 years ago, which is insane.
That is amazing. Yeah, I've seen different versions of different bicycles that some of these people would do, and then I read a full report on a guy that used to do the first wheelies. And he was claiming to do the first wheelie. And there's people in Europe.
That's ridiculous.
They were claiming to do the first
wheelie.
The
first wheelie? That's like, man. Okay, yeah. So tell me more.
I can't remember what I read. It's on my Instagram somewhere. But he was doing these wild in-runs, looked like little train track, just big booters. And, I think he was going like 45 feet, 50 feet. But on a ancient, I think they weren't even called bicycles yet. They were called velocipedes. And then he's doing his big velocipede jumps, 45 feet with like a nice in-run and big booter and then a big gap, flat dirt and stuff. And then a steep little landing. And he had no helmet and he had the mustache curled up and he sent it. And you could see the mustache was like pinned back from the wind. And I had to share the shot. It was pretty cool. But
his history's fascinating.
Dude, when you think you're gnarly, everything's been kind of done in the past by somebody, somewhere, somehow. You know what I mean? Like, there's some gnarly people throughout the ages.
There's some gnarly people alive right now.
Well, and getting gnarlier. Yeah, totally.